Hello, 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 everyone, and welcome to Rare Maven, the podcast where we create, and we celebrate Black women creativepreneurs. Today we have a fabulous guest, okay? Singer, songwriter. You know, she's going to these festivals and she does her own tours, producing. We have La Fleur, okay? She's coming out of Cali. And we're going to get into some amazing things today. Her company, Song Therapy, how she got started as an indie artist, how she performed for over 400,000 guests at a festival and only under 3K followers. Okay?
Yeah,
we're going to get into that. Okay? So thank you and welcome, La Fleur.
Yeah, thank you for having me. I appreciate
it. You're welcome. So to start us off, I usually do a trivia. Okay? So, would you rather be the opening act for SZA's world tour? Now, we heard that, she said she's going to take a break, but when she come back and go on tour, would you rather be her comeback tour opener, or would you rather a tour and experiential series for Essence Fest? Like they'll have you there for 5 years for almost like a whole residency at Essence Fest.
That's a difficult one. Because I mean, opening up for SZA is that's top tier, and she's with TDE, and that's my dream company. But also Essence Fest. That's difficult. I think I would have to say, just because that's the route I want to go through, SZA.
Okay, and you got your research. I'm loving that you got the research. You know the company behind it, so she's intentional, y'all. All right, that's a good one. All right, so I want you to tell us where are you from, and who was the first person, or I would say group, that inspired you to be an artist?
Well, I'm originally from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. And then I moved to LA when I was 8 or 9 years old. I'll have to say the first person that inspired me to become an artist was my grandma. She was I come from a very musical family, so it was kind of all around me at all times. And then once my grandma found out that I had a voice, even a little bit, she was like, "Oh, you're singing.
Go ahead, Grandma. We gotta snap it up for Grandma. Snap it up for Grandma because they see it in you. Grandmas are sometimes our biggest cheerleaders. All right, if no one else is gonna be Grandma. Okay,
exactly. She was I think I used to just play around, walk around the house, and she was like, "Oh, you sounded good." I was like, "I was just playing," and she'd be like, "No."
Yeah, they'd be like, "Don't dim it, baby. If you go to have a shower event, no, they're gonna be the one front and center. If they are certain people there, they are shouting. Okay, they
100%.
Thing pop.
She did not play when it came to get it serious. So I was like, okay.
I love it. That's so beautiful. Okay, musical family. Shout out. All right. Now I want you to tell us more about you as a brand, La Fleur, but also your company, Song Therapy. Tell us about it. What it is.
I originally came up with Song Therapy, I want to say in 2018. So it was I was kind of going through a shift. I was just I think I was around 20 years old. I got out of my first real relationship, and I was kind of just I don't know, left with nothing, I guess. And that's when I first started. I got my first studio set up. I started recording myself, and I started to, just express myself in all these songs. And I realized that every time I finished a song, whether it was about hating somebody or loving somebody, it was a piece of me that was finding the puzzle pieces.
Yeah.
So I was like, dang, this is therapy for me. So I was like, oh snap, oh, Song Therapy. So that's when that kind of came about, and I was like, yeah, I realized that my journey with this, with my artistry and this company, is to kind of continue to heal myself, and heal people can heal people. So as long as I'm healing these parts of myself, I'm able to find those pieces that are broken in other people, and hopefully they can relate. and be able to heal everybody. I know it's so cliche, they're like, I want to heal the world, but it actually is.
No, that's what it is. Like you hit it, and I'm so happy. We're gonna get into it later with ownership and you actually trademarking yourself. But I love that story, and that's what we call your eureka moment. You know, like what you came about, but what came out of it, which is so
Yeah,
beautiful.
exactly.
Because there's your self discovery, and again, once you heal yourself, it is an obligation in a way to help heal others, and it's not an obligation, but more so you're going to do it naturally because you're healed. You're going to attract that, so why not do that through your art, right?
Exactly.
So nah, it's not cliche because we need a lot of healers. I feel like it's healing season now.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. Especially as a Black woman and like how sometimes we're portrayed right now in the media. Like I want to let Black women know, like, okay, honey, you don't gotta be a certain type of way, or you gotta be talking about something. If you're going through, if you got anxiety, if you like, pretty girls get anxiety too, you can go on there and talk about it, and we can discuss it. You can learn different coping mechanisms. You don't gotta be out here doing crazy stuff.
Beautiful. Yeah. Look at a snap to that. Everybody give a snap to that too, right?
Yeah.
To the healing seasons and healed seasons too. Know that you can be healed.
Exactly.
As well. So okay. So let us know, like, so what in your company do you do? So like services that you offer, like let us know. Like what is that?
For as of right now, my main focus is just trying to get my artistry and La Fleur out there as much as possible. Because the more research sources that I have and the more things that I can do, the more I can spread the love. So I think I'm in the very, 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 very beginning stages of this. I kind of just got everything solidified this year.
Awesome. But you do songwriting, right? So
yeah.
Like I want you to like talk that talk right now. I want you to like, all right, I songwrite. Like let us know because
yeah. So I mean, I have written for the likes of a lot of artists. My biggest placement right now that I have is with Macy Gray. I wrote 5 songs on her latest album that she dropped. So it was nice, and the lead single as well. So that was pretty good for me as somebody that's like that nobody knows. I just so happened to do the session, and I was like, hey, I have something for this, and she was like, I love everything, and I was like, oh, word.
Wow. Now, how did that come about?
Well, so I have a family member who is a big producer in the industry. So he kind of like he does this thing, you know what I mean? And sometimes like ever since I was around like 10 or 11, I've been shadowing him in the studio. I've been just going with him. I've been meeting. You can call me like an industry kid kind of because I've been at the studio just kind of the fly on the wall. Also made me fall in love with the process of making music. So at the time, I was like, he was like, yeah, I'm gonna go work on producing her album, and I was like, oh well, I'm gonna just go with you. And I just so happened to, throw a couple words in there, maybe show a couple songs. Yeah.
I love that because what I love out of that, like we spoke about this on actually our last episode. We were a student. Like you were a student first. You weren't, like I got some people, I know my family too, some people, but it's like they get annoyed if you come to them and you're not ready, right? Like you made sure you were ready. You did your due diligence and you worked at it. So when the opportunity presented itself, you were ready. So that's amazing.
And also too, I feel like sometimes it gets misconstrued of like people wanting to do this as a career and people having a passion and a love for it.
Yeah.
Like if you love drawing, you're gonna sit and you're gonna draw all day. That's what you love to do. So I love making music. I absolutely love listening to well done music and like hearing how the composition, the words, the feelings. So I'm like, I want to do that now. So I'm gonna study this person who I love doing it, and hopefully I can make that my own. And kind of. It's just like 10,000 hours. They say people always say like 10,000 hours. I didn't believe it, but it's necessary.
Yes, that is a fact. All right, awesome. Now tell us, what were some of your challenges in getting your business started?
Man, financial. That was one of my biggest challenges because everything costs money. So, but luckily, we're in the age of the internet where, if you throw up a GoFundMe or, just outsource on the internet, you might find sponsors, grants. That's one thing people do not know is that there's hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of grants just for artists, just for people doing music. So what you look on Google, whatever state you're in, you can go on there and be like, I'm an artist, and they'll be like, okay, here's 25,000 just to make an album. Here's this, just do this.
Mm.
And then that's when, then you can start, that comes into looking into grant writers and things like that. It's a lot of research, and also looking, like, coming across the right people with the right knowledge. So
Yeah.
networking is always important. So financial was one of my biggest, and also too, believing that I could actually do it. There was like, I had a phase where I think they call it imposter syndrome,
Yep.
where it's like, should I be doing this? Like, am I really like? Because like, is it necessary for me to do all this if I'm not going to be? But I have no doubt in my mind, 100% now that it's going to be. You have to see in your mind first, and then you know what I mean.
Yes, you do. Yes, you do. Speak to that. You gotta have that vision. That vision with precision. Okay. It gotta come out, and that is real. And again, it goes back to, again, you keep being a student. You're doing your research. You're putting yourself in it. But like you said, that belief is foundational for sure.
Exactly. Because nobody believes in it but you at first. It's just you. Even when you tell people about it, they're like, okay.
Yep.
Until they see you actually put in the work, and they're like, oh snap, she's serious. Like, no,
yep, exactly. All right. Well, amazing. And what I want to know next is your tips, right? So you kind of got into it, but I'd love for you to give us any more. But one on ownership. Now, I want to speak particularly about that with your trademarking, right? And what came about with that. One on wellness. So we know you're into that. And one on your artistry. You can expand more.
Yeah, I had a conversation with my stepmom, and my dad is in the process of owning his own business as well. And she was like, why don't you just turn yourself into a company? Like, there's so much more you can do as a company, because people don't know that America is based off of companies, like further with a name. You know what I mean? Not just as a single person. So as she's telling me all this, I was like, okay. First, I kind of blew it off, but then people don't realize that making music is cool until you get hit with the business side of it. And there's all these different percentages, and there's all this and that, and this and that. And it's kind of hard to take on as a single person. But once you but it's actually really simple. Honestly, I didn't even know it was like that simple. Just looking it up and seeing if there's another name with that, and then just kind of realizing that you're all in the clear, and then you can just pay for it. All right. It's actually cheap depending on the state you're in. But it was, I would say, just the process. It was a little. I mean, I'm somebody who is an up and down person with like anxiety and depression and stuff like that. So there'd be some days where I'm like, if it doesn't work out right away, I'm like, because there's been a couple times where I had to try, because there's a whole thing with music therapy. That's a whole thing. That's an actual solidified therapy thing. Yeah. So I was like, dang, how do I get this in there if there's already a hole? So I immediately was like, oh, it's okay. Nobody's supposed to be doing it. And it just was like you said, the belief is the foundation. As long as you take a second and get rid of all of the noise and chaos and go back to the little small candle that you lit in the beginning, and was like, okay, I believe that everything's gonna work out. We're just gonna figure it out. If it's a block here, just figure it out. Go all the way, figure it out. And then eventually everything came into fruition. But it takes some centering.
Yes. I definitely think that was genius though of your you said it was your mom or your stepmom?
My stepmom.
Yeah, that was genius of her to even put that out there. And what have you found has helped you now that you are trademark or more of a company?
Well, as a business, you have your own line of credit. You have your own line of there's a lot of different things you can do as a company. Like, especially me, like, say I messed with our credit when I was like 18. And I was like, oh, my first credit card, I'm out here. You know what I mean? So as a single person, there's nothing I can really do about that. I can't go out and get a loan for my business. But if I come to a bank, say, as a business, then it's like, okay, this is a fresh new business, a fresh new line of credit, things like that. As long as you're smart and you have, you do your research, because that matters. Don't just be out here and be like, oh yeah, I'm a business, I can get $20K.
Don't be throwing it back, y'all. Don't be throwing it back. I need an outfit for this performance.
Yeah, let's say if you get into a little legal trouble or something doesn't work out with your business, only the business is impacted. So now you can still say, if you put that business into bankruptcy or things like that, and you're relinquished of all of that responsibility. So it doesn't affect you as the person. So now I'm like, oh my God, I'm $50,000 in debt because I took out a loan but my business, my business is in debt now. If I gotta start over again, I'll start over again. So it's like you can do that as a business, but not as a person.
That's dope. That's a great point.
All that information.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, do research.
But it's worth it. Like you said, it's like it's not gonna harm you as an individual, as an artist. And say you want to go and start doing more business with others, and now your name as an artist is affected versus this business entity you're under is separate. So it won't affect you individually as an artist when you go out here. So that's dope. That's really great.
Especially when it's like the real big dog stuff, like writing for big name artists, or even if you get into contracts, getting signed. That's gonna matter one day when you take it really serious. It's gonna matter.
Yeah. Awesome. All right. Now let us know about your wellness tip. So I know you just talked about how you went through a phase of like depression. Like, what do you say is a tip for artists with their wellness?
This I would say honestly, solitude. Or solitude. Sometimes I know I have a friend of mine. It makes it worse when they're alone. Gets them in their head. Reach out to people that know you and that can raise your standard. You know what I mean, for being so low. Also, too, when I'm depressed, when I feel some type of way, I immediately go to my computer and I'd be like, "What feeling is this feeling? Let me try to know this." Because maybe I'm not the only one feeling this way. I can express this. And I'm like, oh, I'm depressed. I want to blah, blah, blah. And then I put out a song. Next, you know, people are like, "Dang, I was feeling the same way." So it's like kind of goes along with this song therapy, where it's like, you never know, because sometimes I'll be super depressed and I go on YouTube or go through my beat packs and I'll be like, this beat feels exactly what I'm feeling. It's bringing out these emotions. And then once I finish the song, I'm happy. I'm all like, oh, this is hard. So like it just kind of does a whole 180 at that point.
Beautiful.
So, like, yeah, just dive into your art. You know what I mean? Your art is for love. Especially if the foundation is love. You always get find in there. So.
I love that. The foundation is love, because you basically, it's almost like a portal. You're gonna put like your pain through this portal of your passion and what you love.
Let it go as well.
Yes.
You're not holding on to it. You're not like, harboring it. It's like, all right, it's in the song. I'm gonna.
So you live and you breathe song therapy. This is who you are. This is your brand. This is your life.
That's the thing. That's why it makes so much sense, because it's like it's literally my life every day. So.
Yeah, that's beautiful. I love it. So yeah, I hope you all at home got taking notes, like what she said.
I was like,
I had a coach before, a vocal coach, and she said that she was like, every day you should be writing. She was like, you know, I don't care whatever you're feeling. She was like, you write that, and even me now. See, I'm gonna take your advice. Like, I hope y'all will take La Fleur's advice too, but I was like, you in a movie, like, I just want to chill. But it is like a cathartic way to release through your writing, and then it will uplift, because you're releasing, you're letting all that go. So
yeah, exactly.
Yes, that's amazing. And what would you say is your tip for being an artist?
Being an artist?
Artistry.
I mean, honestly, asking yourself the question, like, are you serious? Because, honestly, there's a lot of people who do it for fun. So make that distinction. I got asked the question the other day because I was like, dang, I wasn't like going through something. Sometimes it's hard for me to make music when I'm like in a very chill mood. I'm like, why can't I make something? Like, because there's nothing traumatic or dramatic out here. And my friend was like, so is music your coping mechanism or is music your passion? And I was like, hold on, it's both. It's both. I was like, but it was like, I had to ask myself the question, is like, am I actually serious about this? Like, this is something I want to do, because it could take up your life. Like, if you're all in, you're all in. You can't just half in, half out, because you're only going to get half results if you're happy.
Yeah.
So it's like, there's those questions like, do I actually care? Like, do I actually care people listen? Like, you know what I'm saying? What's my end goal, where I want to be? Like,
yeah.
So
I love that. That's a really good question to ask. Yeah. How serious are y'all out there? All right. How serious are you? Like, what?
Man, my grandma used to ask me that all the time, where she used to make me practice the same song over and over again. I'd be like, oh, and she'd be like, oh, you must, or she'll ask me to sing, and I'd be like, no, not right now, grandma. And she's like, oh, you just lost $1 million. What if that was your real all time? And I'm like, and then it made you think about it, like, well, I want $1 million.
Like, yes.
Okay.
Grandma came through again. Okay, grandma came from the beginning, the middle, the future. Grandma. I love it. All right, awesome, amazing. Thank you for that. And I hope everyone took those notes, like with trademarking yourself, with your wellness, like using your artistry to release. That is beautiful. And then how bad do you want? How serious are you? Ask yourself when it comes to your artistry. I love those. 100%. I love those. So awesome. And now this is a $50 million question. I'm like, oh, I want to get into this. You had under 3K followers, but you were able to perform for over 400,000 attendees at a festival.
Yes.
Tell us how that came about. Like, what was that all about?
I've manifested this since I was little because I used to go to this festival like 9, 10, 11. It's called this Taste of Soul. It's something that happens in LA. They block off all of Crenshaw and just food, stages. And I remember being little and me like, I am going to perform here one day. And so I just happened to be scrolling on Instagram, and I got somebody posted like, oh, a certain something is doing Star Quest. And at the time, last summer, I was at every single open mic. I was at every single like popping out. I didn't care if I was only doing half the song, if I had 30 seconds to show my talent. I was out there with everybody. And I just so happened to meet this person, and I ended up following them. And that's why networking, I'm going to say this again, networking is important because you never know who you're going to meet, and you never know the doors that they get open. So I was like, okay, and they ended up meeting them at an open mic. And I followed them. They posted, they were like, yeah, we're doing the Star Quest. Whoever wins the Star Quest, you have to post a video of yourself singing. Whoever wins basically gets to perform at Taste Soul. And I was like, oh. So at that moment, when I seen that post, I told myself in my mind, I was like, I'm gonna perform. Like automatically, it's the belief. I always want to put the other in the belief first, and then you go for what you want. So I'm like, oh my god. So I did a whole little video. I actually didn't even do a new video. I went on an old Instagram video that I had singing. I tagged him underneath it, and then I waited and waited and waited. It was so crazy because I was working this crazy job with security, and I was like dog tired, and I was like, oh, I was waiting for that message, and I got the message, and I was like, couldn't even like be happy, but I was just like,
oh my gosh!
And I ended up opening for Papoose too, which was pretty awesome.
What?
I was his opener, so going on for him and get to see them backstage, and also too the networking, the right place at the right time. So I was like, that was nice, and I honestly nobody knew who I was, but as long as I was supposed to hit bobs, you know what I'm saying? They knew me after I left, so that's nice.
Let's clap it up for that. All right, let's clap it up. First of all, let's clap it up for the belief. Again, let's get back to the belief. She said she believed. First of all, no. She said that she was little.
Yeah.
She said, I am doing this. I am performing.
I used to walk through because they have like, I think there was like 4 stages. So there's smaller stages, but there's the big one, the one that I got to perform at. And it's crazy because at the last minute, I was on a smaller stage, and at the day before the show, they were like, we're switching you to the main stage. And I was like, wow. No way. I was like, look at God. Because I kept saying, I was like, I want to be on that stage, but I'm going to chill. Like, I'm going to chill. I'm going to work his way out. And I ended up getting it. I was like, people understand that the manifestation, law of attraction is real. If you want it, you're going to get it. You just have to actually believe that you can have it.
Yes.
I was like,
she went from the small stage to the big stage in all different facets.
I was like,
believing it, manifesting it. And when she got big, she was on that big stage. This is what I gotta say. Like, this is a beautiful story. I love it.
When you told me that, I was like, yeah, that was crazy. I've never performed on the stage that big, for one. Ever. Like, I think maybe like when I was younger, I used to dance, but like in that many people, I looked out and it was just a sea. I was like, oh, there was a Megatron. My body didn't even know what to do. I was like, now's the time to be nervous. Keisha, get up on there. So I was like, okay.
Now was grandma there?
No, unfortunately, my girl passed away, but she was there, honey.
Oh, she was there in spirit.
Yeah,
That's
before I perform every time, I always be like, "You want okay?" Got
oh,
you.
I love it.
Yeah, I was like, that was not the time you never, even though I was extremely. I've never seen that many people, so I walked down there and I was like,
Mhm.
"Hey, I get you back." I was like, "Hey, what's up?" But on the inside, my body was like, "What is going on? What's happening?"
It was like an out of body experience.
100% was. I didn't even realize it was over. Honestly, it just went by like that. I was like,
Mm.
that's why it's always important. My biggest tip as an artist, when you actually accomplish your goals, be in the moment. Like allow that
Mm.
moment to feel that like you got what you wanted. Because all the times when you get what you want and you're like, what's next? Okay, what's next? Or what could I have done? Da, 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 da. It's like, nah, I'm in the moment right now. I'm on stage in front of all these people. Like, girl, feel it. And
Yes, yes, live it, be it, know it, yes, be in the
yeah,
moment.
but it was beautiful. So shout out to Taste of Soul. Shout out to LA Centennial. They're actually the LA newspaper, and they
Mm.
actually are the one that did the Star Quest. And actually, it was three of us that got shows.
Beautiful. Okay. Yeah, see, listen, I hope people figuring out these gems from this story because it was on all different levels. It was from a manifestation, the
Yeah,
really seeing it from a child,
right.
to really believing that you could do it. And also, like you said, putting yourself out there. I feel like that was the main thing. Like you can't be found if you're not seen.
Yeah,
And that was the thing, like people recognize you. And what also, even though LA is a big city or wherever people live, it's still your community. So
exactly,
again, once you put yourself out there, it's not but too many people who's out there, and also all singers or performers. It's like, but
exactly.
it's the consistency and putting yourself out there.
Mhm.
It'll attract. It'll click after a while because you're
Sometimes,
constantly out there. You know.
yeah, exactly. And it's crazy because I relate to the people who are like extroverts, introverts, because I'm very much I love being by myself, and
Hmm.
I get anxiety, like social anxiety, being around large groups of people, and being around people in general. I'm always overthinking about like, I'm like, what do I do with my hands? I don't know, but like,
Hmm.
but it's having the separation of being like you snap into that mode, and you're like, okay, you take it if you're serious, then you're
Hmm.
gonna have that. It's like, oh, I'm turned on,
Yes.
so I'm ready, and this is what you're getting because you never know who is watching. So
Yes.
you know, obviously be so tired of showing up to all these open mics, performing one song for 3 people or 10 people, but you never know who's there. And people be outside. They,
Hmm. Hmm.
that's and the biggest thing is like it's all about who you know. Sometimes the people think that like talent really doesn't get you far. It can get you to the furthest, but you have to know the right people and network with the right people to actually get your talent in the door to be seen.
Yes, yes, beautiful. Now that is amazing. And again, I hope everyone took the notes because all what we're getting out of this is the power of belief. This episode is about the power of belief, okay?
100%. Yeah.
And with that, I want to say for those who are at home and they're thinking, how do I fund my dream? How do I like negotiate a deal? Or like what's your advice dealing with that?
I feel like right now I'm completely 100% independent. I have been doing everything on my own. So I would say stay independent as long as possible because honestly,
Mm,
these big companies and corporations are really just out to juice you for your talent and your
mm,
money. So,
mm.
like I said, you go on Google and look up grants, look up things like that in your city, and let the government fund you. Like,
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
yeah.
Like, let them give you the money to. If you need $100, set up a GoFundMe. You never know the
Mhm,
support might get
mhm.
off of that. You never know what go viral, make some content. You know what
Yep.
I'm saying? And then you just never know.
And
You
what
know.
about for these performances? Like, how do you negotiate like your pay? Or if you're doing like what you did for songwriting, like what would you say is actually what like how you
That's a
pay
hard
your
one. I feel like it's definitely different for every situation. I
mhm.
came from there's a thing called pay to play where I used to pay people to perform. I used to pay like up
Mm,
to also like $100 to be able to perform in front
mhm,
of like 5 people. But at the
mm,
time I wasn't as smart. There
mhm,
is they're like, I mean, go to open mics. Do this for free until you can start doing things with hopping on showcases And then it's like, okay, sometimes they ask you to sell, like, let's you to sell 50 tickets, da da da. Once you get past that point, it's like, because there's levels. Once you get past that point where you're like, when you're selling tickets, then it's like, okay, I brought 100 people in here. I'm gonna need such and such of the door. I need a percentage of the bar because people love a percentage of the food. People love to eat, and then like, but that's also knowing what you're worth. Because I remember back in the day, I used to charge like, I'd be like, oh, I do a verse for free. Like, I know I got words to make your song 10 times better. I just sound hungry. But somebody told me one day, was like, girl, like, you must know how good you are. You must don't care. You're just out here with your talent. I was like, I could charge more? And then honestly, there was one time, this is what shocked me. I did a show and I got paid $30 for it. And the guy was like, oh, I was prepared to pay you like $250. I didn't know how much you're going to ask, but thank you for taking. I was like, $250.
What?
Rewind. I was like, I made a note in my mind. I was like, oh, you think I'm worth $250? Then I'm worth $350. So I'm like, okay, $350. And then you never know. Just ask for the higher price first, $400. He's like, a little lower, $350. He's like,
yes. I love it. So it's like knowing your worth, going for what you are worth, but go for something. That's what I gotta do. Go for something. Your talent is not free out here.
It's not free.
It's not free out here. So yes, thank you for that. Well, we're about to get to our last question before we wrap up. So I have what we call our Rise, Shine, and Thrive song. So I kind of want to do a spin on it now, since you be singing and stuff. You gonna sing out here doing your thing. My Rise, Shine, and Thrive song is Diva by Beyonce.
Okay.
So whenever I'm feeling any type of down, I'm like groggy, I turn that song on. I at least get a push. I feel like, right, I'm about this. Like, I can do this. I can do this. So I want you to tell us, what is your Rise, Shine, and Thrive song? But I want you to also like sing us a little bit up. You can sing a little hook, a little chorus, something.
This is intense because like sometimes I listen to myself, like I listen to I have songs that I've made specifically where I'm like, I felt down, I can listen to this. But I love 100% listening to Minnie Riperton. So she has a song actually where I got my name from. It's La Fleur. And it's really about the journey of a flower and just going through life as like the seed and growing and blooming. And other things that I just get reminded, I'm like, it's such a beautiful, and it just brings my soul back to a center, if that makes sense.
I like that.
Yeah, so it's not hype, but it's like, it's just serene, if that makes sense.
Yes. It goes with you, with the song Therapy. Yeah. I'm convinced. You don't gotta tell me. You don't gotta explain. You don't gotta get into it. We know.
Yeah, my mind's chaotic. I hear this and I hear the guitar come in. I'm like, I feel like I have peace. I feel like a flower growing in the wind, if that makes sense.
Okay. Do you mind giving us a little snippet of it? Like a little.
Yeah, let's see. Okay. Okay. Oh, my heart's all beating. Not that I'm nervous. I'm trying to be nervous.
You're good.
Will somebody wear me to the fair? Will a lady pin me in her hair? Will a child find me by the stream? Ooh, kiss my petals, wake me through a dream. We're always hurt and much more. Yeah.
I was on a cloud, just floating. Like, I love it.
I highly recommend that album, Come to My Garden by Minnie Riperton. It's
I'm going to check that out. We're going to check that out. Thank you for gracing us with your beautiful voice. Oh my gosh. And thank you for gracing us with your beautiful story and message. This was a
same. Thank you for allowing me this platform. I really appreciate it.
Oh, you're welcome. This is all for all the rare mavens out here to know that it's possible, whether in music, art, fashion, TV, film, it's possible, and this is what it's about. And thank you for basically telling us you got to believe. That's what I got from this interview. And I hope all the listeners and viewers got that as well. And I just want you to tell us how we can keep in contact with you, how we can listen to your music, and how we can Support.
So you can follow me on Instagram at I am La Fleur. So that's LAFLEUR_. And then on Spotify, Apple Music, whatever your chosen stream, it's just La Fleur. And then also if you listen on SoundCloud, I go by Funky Aliens with a Z. It's weird, but I drop random stuff on there all the time, like stuff that probably would never see the light of day. But I'm like, but yeah, and on YouTube also La Fleur. So whatever you guys choose, just
All right, we'll make sure to tag you with all this. All right, and more. And thank you to you, La Fleur, for again gracing us. Thank you for everyone who's listening to the podcast and watching online. We appreciate all of you. We want you to know to own what you create and celebrate always who you are. And please make sure to follow us at Rare Maven Media and on our YouTube channel as well. And just thank you, La Fleur. Thank you so much.
Yeah, of course. Thank you.
Yes, that's amazing.